Let's talk about layoffs, and let's talk about USPS, okay? Because I'm hearing that Trump is trying to reorganize and see what's going on with USPS. And first, we want to start with. Let me do this again. First, we want to start with IRS laying off over 6,700 as Doge is thinking about more cuts. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
More job cuts across the federal government this morning as the IRS lets go of nearly 7,000 workers during tax season, and the TSA lays off hundreds. News Nation's Tom Dempsey is in Washington with the latest this morning. Tom, what departments are next on the Doge chopping block?
Hey, good morning from Washington, D.C., Marky. Look, this week, the Department of Government Efficiency really putting the IRS and the Department of Defense in its targets just this week. Actually, just yesterday alone, a source telling News Nation that 6,700 layoffs were announced within the IRS. Now, these layoffs impacted probationary workers on the job for a year or less, with some of them in the compliance department, which involves making sure taxpayers follow code, file their returns, and pay their taxes. But of course, consider the timing of all this. This all comes with the tax season heating up. And a News Nation affiliate spoke to an employee who works in collections who asked to remain anonymous due to the sensitive timing. She said she worried all week about being fired while describing the stress and uncertainty right now.
The majority of us are very sad with what's going on. Most of us don't even know how we're going to make our mortgage payment or rent payments. How are we even going to put food on the table?
We also know a team from Doge visited the Pentagon earlier this week and got lists of probationary workers.
I was muted again. I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep being muted. It's probably it's probably a good thing that I got muted. Probably a good thing that I got muted because I wasn't saying nothing good. Right after that lady said that, I said that, you know what the Great Reset is? I'm going to modify my words a little bit. You know what the Great Reset is? The Great Reset is also, because a lady was saying, oh my God, I don't know how we're going to pay our mortgages. I don't know how we're going to do things. You know what we're going to do? Masculinity is back, baby. Yes, it is. Masculinity is back. That means that we're going to have y'all reset yourselves back into being wives. You're going to have to go back into the household. We teaching home ec now. Home ec. Yeah, I need y'all to learn how to make a strawberry pie, peach cobbler, and macaroni and cheese and greens from scratch, baby. Y'all got to depend on your husbands. You got to depend on your husbands this time, baby. And it's also going to start to make sure that everything goes back in prices. Part of getting prices back in order is to get everybody back in line in their rightful roles. It's to get everybody, you know what? I'll give you an example. So, for example, people are going to not have to live in many McMansions and thinking that they deserve to make as much as they're making in order to pay off their mortgage. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You're going to have to live within your means. You don't necessarily deserve to live in the best part of town. You shouldn't need two incomes in order to survive. Now we're going to go back to a place where you only need one income. You're going to stay within your bracket, and you're going to make sure that you take care of all of the kids. Listen, I could fix your budget, even if you're getting laid off. If your husband is still working, but you're not working, we can reduce your lifestyle. I can fix your budget. Guess what? You ain't going to have to pay for daycare no more. The daycare workers ain't going to be making your son sassy, right? All of these things that's messing up our households, you just going to overwork because you want your own independence. You're going to have to humble yourself and stop telling your husband what he going to do and what he is. Everything is going to be right with the world. Everything is going to be right with the world once you get back into who it is that you're supposed to be. Everything is going to be right with the world. I'm telling you. We're going to get to it next segment. Everything going to be right with the world. I'm getting it. I'm going to get there. You ain't want to work like that anyway. You know how stressful you was. You know how frumpy you look. You know how tired you are. You keep on wearing them pants dresses and them pantsuits. You look dingy. Your hair is falling out. Your edges is ate up. You got the edge thief is coming to get you. The edge thief. We're praying against the edge thief. We're going to make you a lady again. We're going to put you in some reasonable clothes. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to be a mother to your children. Your children ain't going to be eating sugar all day, bouncing off the wall, because all they know is to eat artificial foods all day. We're going to get people all the way back into their femininity. You ain't going to be taking no girls' trips, gossiping about people that you ain't supposed to be gossiping about. No, you're not going to be passing up the men that you're supposed to be with no more. We going to get everything back. When we say great reset, we're not talking about financially. We're talking about in our households. Yeah, we're going to have to start depending on men again, and men going to have to step up. Men going to have to step up. We got to take care of our families. We're going to have to explain to them, listen, baby, we're not supposed to be door dashing and going out every day. You're going to have to go to the grocery store. You're going to start meeting your neighbors. You don't know who your neighbors are no more. People going to spend more time at home. You're going to get more the job that you do get is going to be more of a relaxing feminine job. You're going to start being a school administrator. You're going to be participating in the county sessions. You're going to be relying on your husband to give you more direction and take care of business. Everything is going to get back to the right thing. Everything is going to be right in the world. I promise you, we're going to get there. It's going to take a couple of years for you to realize it, but you'll get there. You'll get there.
Within the department. We still don't know how many employees could be let go or have been laid off, but we do not expect uniformed military personnel to be impacted. This would affect civilian employees within the Defense Department. But Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has already come out saying he supports cuts to the department. And so far, News Nation has tracked at least 18,000 layoffs of probationary workers across the federal government. NASA also coming out recently announcing that 5% of its workforce has accepted that federal buyout offer. So, Marky, really showing just the wide reach of this effort to downsize the federal workforce.
Yeah, and just staggering numbers that you lay out there, Tom. What more do we know about the lawsuit trying to prevent these layoffs?
Well, once again, President Donald Trump's team and the Department of Government Efficiency scored a legal win, with the federal judge coming out and saying that those mass layoffs and those federal buyout offers can continue. This was a lawsuit that was filed by multiple different labor unions in federal court, and it called on the court to block the mass firings and buyout offers to federal workers.
Watch this. We're going to go over to USPS, because I want to talk about that really quickly before we go over to the masculinity. Man, I'm telling you, you're going to see a skyrocketing of marriages. You're going to see a skyrocketing of marriages. More people are going to start to come together, group economics, finding out who your mother, and you're going to start getting to know your mother-in-law and your father-in-law again. Your kids going to start calling you mommy instead of Sarah now. Yeah, I know some of y'all get called by y'all first names. You think that gentle parenting. No, you're going to find out how bad your kids are. The thing that we're going to start to fix our schools. You know how we're going to fix our schools? Because you're going to start going to parent-teacher conference again. You're going to stop cussing out the teacher, because you're going to start to realize, oh, wait a minute, my kids is bad. My kids are bad. We're going to get back to the core things. See, this is God working in us. God working in us, God working with us. This is God.
To dissolve the leadership of the USPS and take control of the independent mail agency itself. Frank Holland joins us with more on that story right now.
Hey, good morning, Andrew. So this morning, we're watching shares of FedEx, UPS, and Amazon. Those are three companies that could be directly impacted if the White House takes control of the post office. A move that—
And I want to, and this is a part of, for all of my bag chasers, for everybody that's in the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. When we live stream this weekend, we are going to talk about this. We're going to talk about USPS, FedEx, United Parcel Service, Amazon, a possibility of privatizing our mail system and cutting costs so that we don't subsidize the USPS anymore. We're going to talk about this. This is going to be a big conversation that we talk about. The foundation of what we're doing is how we can benefit from these different government agencies being let go, what's going to happen when it comes to outsourcing, what companies are going to benefit from it, and how we can leverage our portfolio in order to make more money. So if you're not a part of actually, you know what? That's Stock Club. Shit. Got Block Club coming up. All right, Stock Club is coming up next week. We'll do Stock Club next week, Block Club this weekend, because I have been preparing to show y'all this also. But let's continue.
That could also impact the flow of trillions of dollars of e-commerce. According to reports, the president's considering firing the Postal Board and placing the Post Office under the Commerce Department. The Post Office is an independent agency with 6 bipartisan board members who are picked by the president and then confirmed by the Senate. The Postmaster General announced his plans to resign after leading the agency since 2020 through the pandemic and, of course, through 2 elections where we saw a big jump in voting by mail. President Trump's been highly critical of the post office before and after his election win and had these comments about postal privatization at a December 16th press conference.
There is talk about the Postal Service being taken private. You do know that. Not the worst idea I've ever heard. It really isn't. You know, it's a lot different today with between Amazon and UPS and FedEx and all the things that you didn't have.
And it is quite a bit different these days. So just for some context, UPS, FedEx, and Amazon, they've historically used the post office supply chain along with other companies out there to once again send trillions of dollars in packages through the post office. So bit more context. UPS signed a 5-year deal with the post office for air delivery last year. At the same time, the company said it would no longer use the post office for its SurePost economy shipping service. That air contract, it was previously held by FedEx. On its most recent earnings call, CEO Raj Subramanian, he addressed post office privatization, saying it's important that parcel delivery is not subsidized by taxpayers. Parcel carriers overall, they've rushed to expand, leading to excess capacity in the market, according to ShipMatrix. So more context here. In 2024,
they absolutely is subsidized by taxpayers, but I'm going to get to that in a minute.
E-commerce capacity was about 120 million packages per day, while during the holiday peak, we saw volumes top out at right around 106 million packages per day. Back over to you.
We lose our ass.
We do. But the question is, what is the right answer? Is there some middle ground here?
I mean, in the UK, they privatized the Royal Mail.
Right.
That didn't work well in the beginning, but now it's working. It's a process. And the question is, you know, if you look at the prices for FedEx and UPS right now, it's extremely expensive to send stuff over there.
Frank, you know what this segment is called, right, Frank?
Frank and Frank.
Frankly speaking.
Or frankly speaking.
Even better.
Yeah,
frankly speaking.
By the way, I didn't tell Robert
Confusingly.
Frank this. I already filed the
To be
trademarks
frank.
and everything, so that's coming at some point.
Robert Holland or Frank, if we...
We'll have a graphic built for the next time we do this, gentlemen.
We should
on a
get
serious
animation.
note,
Other
about
places
this story
have
very
really
quickly,
cool,
very
really
quickly.
cool animation.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that's nice. I do think that under the Trump administration, within the next 4 years, probably within the next 2 years, they're going to start the process of eventually dissolving and outsourcing most of the things that our United States Post Office does. We are subsidizing the post office. We continue to infuse them with cash. And I think that there's other companies that do it better than us. And I think that the legacy cost that's tied to, I mean, even the process of them getting updated vehicles, man, it's been a bid process for a long time. They got them stupid bumblebee vehicles that ain't even really deployed yet, just so they can try to deliver mail. The liability issues, if you see what's happening over in Chicago and post office people dying and postmaster keys is being stolen and stuff like that. I think that the federal government wants to get out of the mail business. I think that the federal government want to get out of a lot of these businesses that they don't do more efficiently than a lot of these private services. Amazon, I believe that's one of the reasons why you see their CEO, I think Andy Jasper, he's been bowing the knee. I think that UPS and FedEx and all of these other companies, DHS, they are all going to take segments of the post office eventually, and it's going to go away. Or at the very least, you're going to see a very, very downsized version. The most basic of services, those are the things that the post office is going to handle. But the larger things, I think that they're going to be handled by other companies. But I'll talk about it on the next Stock Club. We'll break it down. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.